and welcome to your messages for the week. These are your messages for the week beginning Sunday, the 7th of July, 2024. So that is the 7/7 portal that we are experiencing. So it'd be interesting to see what comes up. If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of July, the link is in the description. The video is in the end screen. And it was all about, well, it was about a lot of things, but I summarized it as being, what does your soul want you to do? What does your soul want you to do? Not what other people want you to do, not even what your programmed human mind thinks it wants to do. Get that out of the way. Let your soul's desires come through, listening to your soul, self-realization tools, and listening to what you came here to do, Yeah. The only other thing I want to mention before we dive into the cards is my Tarot and Beyond. Taken a nice little turn here, because the lovely Liz Nagle, my good friend and mentor, is going to join me on Tarot and Beyond. So I guess I'm doing the Tarot and she's doing the Beyond. Although she does Tarot as well, and I can go beyond sometimes. But yeah, Tarot and Beyond is now with Deborah Jane Sutton, yours truly, and Liz Nagle. If you don't know Liz and you want to check out Liz, check my YouTube channel, which you're on. Check out my section, Self Mastery with Liz Nagle, where she shares a lot of her wisdom and I ask her difficult questions and she shares her wise answers. So yeah, check all of that out, because she's going to be joining me for the Tarot and Beyond, which is a monthly Zoom call. And it's on the second Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. Spanish time, Central European Summer Time, which is 6 p.m. in the UK, of course. And the next one is on Sunday, the 14th of July. So if you're interested, check out in the description the link to my website, where you can find out more details and message me for the links. So yeah, get in touch if you want to join Tarot and Beyond with me and Liz. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, let's see what's going on. We have 3 cards. Let's see if that's it. Do we have any more cards for this week? Any guidance? Any heads up? Activate your own intuition, see what resonates. Nope, 3 cards. Let's have a look. The Emperor. Now, he's been coming up a lot lately. It is about standing in your power. Standing in your power, what does that mean? He's all about taking your power back, not giving your power away. But what does that look like? What does it mean? I mean, where is our power? What is our power? You know what I'm going to say to that? I'm going to say love. Love is always your power. Choosing love over not just fear, but choosing love over ego, choosing to be kind rather than right. That's a big one. Choosing to be kind. It's better to be kind than it is to be right. So people remember how you made them feel. They don't always remember the words that you said, but they remember how you made them feel. This is a feeling game. This simulation that we're in is this game of life. It's a feeling game. And it's all about feeling the peace, the love. That's what wins you the game, is by creating a sensation of love and peace within your heart and keeping it there, regardless of what you're looking at and regardless of what unfolds in the film in front of you, the holographic projection that we're calling life, or the movie. You know, watching everything as if you're watching a movie, but with an open heart of love and compassion and gratitude. Really important, isn't it? Because that's where our power lies. He's also a masculine energy. He's a very masculine energy. And I think this is about getting the guys involved. Funny enough, I was just planning some workshops for September. And yeah, I've got a guy coming to do a workshop, and I was like, yeah, we've got to get the guys in, because yes, the divine feminine, the divine feminine's been rising for decades. And the divine feminine and the divine masculine have both been suppressed. Let's be honest. I mean, we talk about, the feminine energy being suppressed, but so is the divine masculine, because the paradigm we're moving away from has been run by toxic masculine energy, and probably toxic feminine energy as well. If you can't have one without the other, I guess. So this is about the unity and the synergy between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And everywhere I look, I see divine feminine, the goddess, and the rise of this divine feminine energy, which is beautiful and important and necessary. And definitely the divine feminine is the way forward. We're the teachers and the way showers. But let's not forget the divine masculine, of course. I mean, our clients are dominantly, female, but that doesn't mean it has to be like that. Where are the guys? Let's encourage them to tap into their divine masculine energy, which is being more emotional, more creative, which is being more emotionally intelligent, which is being more loving and understanding the power of love, and focusing on nature and all these things. But we need it's a seventh Hermetic principle. I talk a lot about the first Hermetic principle of mentalism, but the seventh Hermetic principle is the principle of gender, and how everything in creation, not just us humans and the animals, but the plants and everything in creation is created from the synergy, the coming together of the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So I think that's a really important point. I will put a link in the description to the Kybalion, which is the audiobook, which is free on YouTube, which goes through the 7 Hermetic principles in a really deep way. And I'll also put a link into the video I did with the lovely Liz, who I've already mentioned, because we did a little introduction. It's like we did a little understanding of the 7 Hermetic principles, because the 7 Hermetic principles actually work on a multidimensional level, because we are multidimensional. So depending on what level you're referring to, the laws of the universe, the laws of creation, the 7 Hermetic principles will have a relevance. But as we are so stuck in our human experience at the moment, we really want to bring that wisdom into the physical realm, and to see how it works, and how we can relate to it. So anyway, I'll put a video into that as well. But there's loads on the internet about the 7 Hermetic principles. So I do urge you, to just fill your boots with researching that in your own way, and find your own videos on it. Because this is what he's saying. The divine masculine is kind of being ignored. I mean, he's very much an authority figure. And sometimes this card does come up to represent the toxic masculine energy, and males in our life that have had authority over us, which can be seen as a positive or negative. There is no right and wrong, okay? But there's often a lot of healing needed around that. People that perhaps didn't treat us right, or perhaps behaved in unconscious ways, but we looked up to them because they were an authority figure. There's a lot of that going on as well. So we need to heal that and go back to that inner child. So a lot of inner child healing work is needed. But also without judgment, where we can forgive and understand and see the bigger picture. All of that I got from on him. And look, Wheel of Fortune. Well, I'm not surprised the Wheel of Fortune has come up, because it came up in the monthly cards, and that's what I was saying about doing what your soul wants you to do. I don't want to repeat too much of that, so please check out the messages for July, because we were talking a lot about the gene keys, human design, the soul profiles that I offer, the astrological birth charts, loads of different ways that you can find out who you really are, and what you came here to do, and how you came here to experience and express yourself in this lifetime. Because understanding that really helps you tap in to what your soul wants you to do, as opposed to your programmed human. And now, if you have got this authority, this male authority figure in your life, perhaps a father, a grandfather, or it could have just been a very masculine mother, or you know, kind of controlling and telling you what to do and programming you. And now it's realizing that maybe that's not what you want to do. And I'm a really good example of this, because my astrology, my North Node was interpreted to me that it's a time for me to promote other people. And that's exactly what I had started doing at the garden retreat, bringing other people in to share their passions and their workshops and their gifts. And it was my passion to do that. And I mean, I was already doing it. And then I was told that that's from my astrological chart, that that's actually what my soul came here to do and wants to do. So that's kind of, it's interesting to find that out. It's nice to have the confirmation as well. You might already be doing what your soul wants you to do, but isn't it nice to have it kind of confirmed? Because it might not be what your parents or your grandparents, sorry, I've got an insect flying around me. It might not be what your parents or your grandparents wanted for you, or society. I mean, society has been, that we were born and bred in, has been very masculine, hasn't it? So maybe it's something that society hasn't taught us, and it's something that our human needs to deprogram, and our soul needs to come in and shine. And it could be something that you'd never thought about before. So yes, this is a really important point. It's your destiny, because your soul's desires are your destiny, and your destiny is the free will of your higher self, living from your higher self. It's actually very easy. I mean, yes, it's difficult to get the human out the way because we think so much, don't we? But if we can become empty-headed and thoughtless, that came up recently, didn't it? If we can actually become thoughtless in a positive way, and let the divine flow through, definitely. And that's how we move on. Look, we've got the moving on card. So that's brilliant. So yeah, I think that also came up in the monthly one. If not, it was last week. I can't always remember. But the moving on, it's moving on in life is about, yes, moving away from this. So whether we're moving away from this toxic masculine and we're stepping into our power, like the emperor tells us to do, and be pioneers, because the emperor is the first of the zodiac signs and he's very much a pioneer. And we are the pioneers of this new way of living, creating a society that is governed by love and kindness. I mean, wow, let's be pioneers of that, shall we? Let's be pioneers of creating a society that is, governed by love and kindness. I mean, that really feels lovely to me. And that's what's naturally going to happen when we tap into our soul's desires, our soul gifts, our soul's passions. That's what I want to say. And that's how we're going to move on. That's how we're going to move on into calmer waters. Look, here's the troubled waters, the wars and the greed and the manipulation and all this unrest. It's happening outside of us, but because it's happening inside. So it's about finding the peace and the tranquility, the calmer waters. He's moving into calmer waters, and he's moving away from all that stress. Get off the screens. Don't watch the news. You don't need to watch the news. We don't even need to participate in all of that stuff. You might think we do, but we really don't, because everyone is creating their own reality. I'm going to put a link into that one as well, how we create our reality, because there isn't just one world. We're all creating our own unique reality. And because there are collective beliefs, obviously our realities are overlapping. So there's lots of people believing that living off grid is the best thing to do. So they're all over here living off grid, right? And their timelines will kind of merge with each other. And there are some people that believe that they have to be told what to do by a tyrannical government, for example. So if they believe that, they're creating that reality for themselves, and they'll be all over here being controlled and manipulated by a tyrannical government. You make the choice. You make the choice as to how you live. Right, you can move into tranquil waters where there are no wars, and this is what we're creating. But to create it in the collective, more people need to be doing it, don't they? So we can create that level of peace within us and observe what's going on with love and compassion. And we know from Dr. David Hawkins' work, and I'll put a link in the description to his map of consciousness as well, but we know from his work that each person that creates that level of peace, which is 600 on the scale of consciousness, people that can create that frequency within themselves are actually counterbalancing hundreds of thousands of people that are vibrating at a lower level. So we really need to look at it that way and see that by creating peace inside of you, whatever frequency you create inside of you is your contribution to the collective. So when you see unrest and conflict in the collective and you want to do something about it, there are some people hands-on going to help with aid and everything else. And if that's what their soul is telling them to do, they need to do it. But if your soul is telling you to share different gifts and follow a different path, you can still help by creating a feeling of love and peace within your own body, because the outside is created from the inside. As within, so without. It's not as without, so within, is it? Now, this is the principle of correspondence, which is the second Hermetic principle. So I really urge you to check your Hermetic principles, because they are the law of creation. Okay, and it's not the law of attraction, what we attract. No, it's how we create. It's the law of creation. So if you have the frequency of abundance, peace, love, joy, if you can create that inside of you by releasing your own greed, by releasing your own manipulation, identifying it, by releasing the conflict that you have within you, by releasing the judgments that you have within you, by releasing the pain and the hurt and the trauma that you have within you. This is called the inner work. This is why emotional healing is so important, because when you can release that and you can see everything through a heart full of love, then that love is going to be created outside of you and it's going to be reflected back to you. And we will see more loving people doing more loving things in a more loving way. That's how we change the outside, by changing the inside. It's not sticking your head in the sand, like some people think. It's not all love and light. No, we can see the darkness, but can you see the darkness within you? It's about seeing the darkness in you. What do I mean by darkness? What do I mean by shadow? Where is your ego working? Where are you being controlling? Where are you being greedy? Where are you being manipulative? Where have you got conflict? It's probably all within yourself. The way you talk to yourself. Is it in a loving way? You know, when you judge other people, are you judging them in a loving way? Because when you judge people unfavorably, it doesn't feel good inside. When you judge people, you know, more lovingly, or when you have unconditional love for people, it's a beautiful feeling inside. And the feeling that you have inside of you is your contribution to the collective. So do you want to contribute peace and tranquility, or do you want to contribute troubled waters, more troubled waters into the collective? Because it does start with you. This is where spirituality and science meet at quantum mechanics. Spirituality and science meet at the 7 Hermetic Principles, and understanding that, and understanding how the frequency that you are experiencing in your heart is what is creating your reality. And when we can all cultivate that love and peace in our hearts, that's when there will be love and peace in the whole world. But for now, focus on your own and you will find your reality will change. And although there are unpleasant things going on in the world, it won't come into your reality. And that doesn't mean that you're not doing anything about it. That doesn't mean, you know, that you've got your head in the sand. It's because everything exists in the field of consciousness. And you can't eradicate energy. You can only transmute to a higher frequency. So the only way that you can transmute the murky water into the beautiful clear water is by looking at the murky water without judging it. Because when you judge it as wrong and bad, then you are entangling with it, and you have an energetic tie to it, which is keeping you in the murky water. It's keeping you in a world of conflict and whatever frequencies there are. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's not about turning your back on it. It's about creating, understanding the laws of creation and how you are creating your reality through you, through your consciousness, through your words, and through your actions. And as you become purer inside with this inner work that you're doing, you will then create people in your life that are at your frequency. That's why some friends are passing by and some new friends are coming in, new activities are coming in. This is moving on. This is why you're moving on, because you're releasing a lot of the density of your own energy body and you're lightening it. You're bringing more light into the cells of your body. Enlightenment. It's bringing more light in as the darkness goes. The darkness goes when you understand and you shine your consciousness, your awareness on what's going on and how you can love yourself, love everybody, see the blessing even in conflicts. Because at a soul level, everybody has chosen their journey and they've chosen their adversity for the purpose of learning this stuff. That's what it's all about. Self-realization tools. That's where your power lies. Our power lies in understanding how we create our reality and understanding the laws of creation, and that the highest, most powerful energy is that of love. Love at 500, peace at 600, joy at 540, and authenticity, which is up there with all of those. They are the way to go forward, because that's how we are creating a world of peace. And we can still observe unfavorable, unpreferred situations, but we do it with an open heart of love and understanding and gratitude for the lessons, and without damning people, without judging them in that way, because that's how you get stuck there. So you're actually keeping yourself in a troubled world by judging it, by focusing on it and judging it unfavorably. Let's take our ability and our understanding and our knowledge on how we create, how it creates through us and through our frequency, to choose love and create from that. Choose love and create from that. That sounds like a perfect summary, doesn't it? Choose love and create from that. Well, quite a passionate one this week, wasn't it? I just think it's really important we understand how we create. It's really important that we understand this. Spirituality and science coming together at the 7 Hermetic Principles, the laws of creation. Well, that's given you some homework, hasn't it? Thank you for getting to the end of the video. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you all. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.